Hi, Reggie Mara back again speaking about healing America's narratives. In the previous episode, you recall we introduced the idea of innies, both a belly button type and those Americans who try to include all American citizens in the best of what this country has to offer. So those are innies or in-laws. There are other Americans who try to exclude certain groups of people, and we call those outies or maybe outlaws, and identified the current governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, who's running for president. He announced earlier this week or last week. He's a capital O outie. He has, since he's been governor of Florida, he has constantly tried to exclude certain views and certain people from what the state has to offer. And on his website, his presidential website, he says that he offers, quote, a bold agenda to transform Florida into a blueprint for the nation's revival. All right, so he's going to revive America using Florida as a blueprint for that revival. So among the things he says on his website, and I'm going to quote, I'll be careful what I quote and what I paraphrase. He says, quote, replacing the woke mind virus with reality, facts, and enduring principles, and holding, quote, woke corporations and school unions accountable, end quote. He never once defines what he means by woke. And it's interesting, he would say he wants to deal with facts and reality and enduring principles, yet he refers to a word he doesn't define as a virus. And he wants to be president of the United States. That's one. In previous episodes of this particular podcast, and in the book itself, Healing America's Narratives, I get very specific about what woke means and doesn't mean. I'm not going to get into those details now. You can find those on your own, or maybe if I have time at the end, I will. He wants to eliminate CRT. He never defines what he means by CRT. He never mentions the words critical race theory either. He just says eliminate CRT. All right, that's going to be the blueprint for the United States of America. He wants to, quote, expand education freedom. It actually says expanding educational freedom on the website. And he wants to, quote, he wants to choose, quote, education over indoctrination. He's doing that by banning certain books, trying to get any impact of critical race theory out of Florida schools, right? So it sounds as though he has his own version of indoctrination, at least in terms of my limited, schooling and ability to read. I mean, again, DeSantis is one of those Northeastern elites because he graduated from Yale University and got his JD from Harvard Law School, and he served in the Navy. So again, we got to be careful with those Northeastern elites. He wants to protect the unborn. That's a quote, protecting the unborn. But if you read what's going on in Florida right now, it seems that once you're born, there's not really much interest in providing a good public education. So Florida was ranked 49th in 2020 and 48th in 2021 out of 50 states in the United States in terms of average teacher salaries. So some of the best and brightest who might want to help educate our youth aren't going to do it in Florida because they're among the lowest paid teachers in the country, right? They're in the top 2 of the lowest paid, or the bottom 2 of the highest paid, however you want to look at that. Florida receives the 3rd largest amount of federal K through 12 educational funding, even though Governor DeSantis criticizes the federal government because his state ranks 42nd in spending on education. They take more national money in terms of keeping their schools going. So there's not a real investment in public schools in the state of Florida under Ron DeSantis, just what we might want for public education from a president. In 2022, Florida ranked 36th of 50. Actually, that's not bad for Florida, it seems. 36 of 50, meaning only 14 states were worse than them, as opposed to just one state or two states being worse than them. in terms of the scorecard from the Commonwealth Fund's state health system performance ratings. Okay. And in 2019 and 2021, in that 2-year period, Florida averaged having 12.6% of its citizens not having health insurance. Only 4 states had a higher percentage of uninsured citizens. So I'm just wondering if that sounds attractive to you for a presidential candidate to take those statistics, and please don't take my word for that. Review this podcast and go look up what I'm talking about, or go to the essay on Medium, which was published on June 6th, 2023, where all of the sources are linked. So I'm not making these things up. So Ron DeSantis is a major outie. He wants to include many views and many people from what many of us refer to as the American dream, or at the very least, the basic freedoms and equalities we hope for as American citizens. So thanks again for tuning in. Continue to heal America's narratives as best you can, and I'll see you the next time.